All right, the Season 4 dungeon changes are here, and holy crap, there are a lot of them to go through, and they pretty much favor players like me, who are the casual individual gamer who doesn't really care about the pressures of all the Mythic Plus stuff and all the time stuff and all that. Meh. Um, Very interesting stuff, so let's go through it here. It says, in the player feedback loop, as a part of the ongoing development in Dragonflight, the development team has identified 3 issues that are broadly based on community feedback. Heroic dungeons are barely distinct from normal dungeons at max level. They really aren't. I didn't really notice any major difficulty difference between normal and heroic. And it said that distinction mostly only matters during a few days after the players first reach max level, and that's because the gear you can get from the Emerald Dream and other stuff allows you to quickly go beyond what you need to have for heroic. So the heroics never feel that challenging because the progression element's been taken out because the normal questing gives better rewards. Mythic Plus dungeons, which I've done, rapidly lose relevance a few weeks into an expansion once the Mythic Plus season starts, with occasional exceptions for the weekly event, and this is for people who are worried about the mythical stuff. And the only truly in-game dungeon mode, M+, revolves around a timer, which means other than new mega dungeons, there isn't really a place for the in-game players who want to grind over and over and over and over that methodical dungeon pacing and gameplay. So it says here, given the combination of 2 underused difficulty, and a gap in medium player demand, we're restructuring dungeon difficulty and rewards in Season 4. Heroic difficulty and rewards will move up to roughly the current level of Mythic Plus. I like that. That means that there's a clear progression line between this is what you're doing solo and in the follower dungeons and in normal mode, and then if you want to go over here, honestly, the only major difference between normal and Mythic 0 that I've noticed is there is an extra mechanic in Mythic 0, and that's it. And everything takes a little bit longer to kill because they have more hit points, but it's not really that much more difficult. So heroic difficulty is now going to be Mythic 0, essentially. Since these dungeons will remain available to queue into via the group finder, though the level item requirement to queue up will also go up accordingly. Mythic 0 difficulty and rewards are going to move up to roughly the current level of Mythic 0, 8 to 10, which is a bit hand-wavy. Now, this is what's going to be really interesting because traditionally, when I go do the weekly, I only run Mythic 0. I have no desire to do Mythic Plus. So for me, going in and doing the weekly now, it's going to be very interesting to see how much that challenge difficulty changes now that it's going to be the equivalent of the previous Mythic 8 to 10. It's very interesting. The existing M Plus system is going to pick up where that leaves off, such that a Mythic 5 in Season 4 is roughly equivalent in difficulty rewards and an M Plus rating awarded to a Mythic 15 today. And then they've got a visualization chart for those of us who need it. It says no timer like the present. Season 4 changes will apply to all 8 of the Dragonflight dungeons. As part of the adjustments, we have a few goals in mind. Recalibrate core difficulties that align with seasonal player experience and progression. Serve the community who enjoys dungeon content but feels that Mythic Plus content isn't for them due to the pressures of taking part. Hi there, that's me. Create a better environment in Mythic dungeons to prepare more players to take part in Mythic Plus for the people who want to make that progressive step. One of the most notable changes players can look forward to is the removal of the timer for Mythic Keystone dungeons for what are currently 0 to 10. Players can then run through these dungeons at their own pace without the need to watch the clock while still honing their skills. I freaking love it. So here's the changes per difficulty. It says normal, difficulties unchanged. Heroic, the tuning and rewards are increasing to be equivalent to baseline Mythic 0 dungeon in the current system, and Mythic difficulty changes and mechanics will not be present. Oh, I didn't. So hang on, I'm misreading that. Mythic difficulty changes mechanics not be present. Okay, so yes, it's only going to be Mythic where you get the extra, which is what I was saying earlier. I don't know if I misread that. I misread that because my niece is here and she's with her child and there was lots of yelling and crying going outside the door. I got sidetracked. So if you heard that bleeding through, I apologize. Mythic. The tuning and rewards of this difficulty are increasing to the equivalent of a 10 plus dungeon with affixes in the current system. There are no timers, affixes, or limitations on changing specializations or talents while in the dungeon. The goal is to create a mega dungeon-like difficulty for this experience. This difficulty should present a meaningful challenge and provide commensurate rewards without the pressures of the current Mythic system. Thank you so much. Mythic 0 is still on a weekly lockout under this model, which is fine. Mythic Plus is now going to be having rewards up to level 10 with plus 2 starting from what would regularly be a plus 11 in the current Mythic Plus system. A plus 5 should be as hard as a plus 15, and a plus 10 should be as hard as a plus 20 in the current system. And then you have the affixes are going to slot in at plus 2, plus 5, and plus 10. Dungeons radius should be equivalent to what they represent in the current system, and there should be a smaller range of keystone levels to find group set and more meaningful progression between each level. It says here, it's important to note that the basic structure of dungeon rewards is not changing significantly, so what you would have earned for completing a Mythic 0 will still be earnable in the heroic difficulty dungeon instead. Here's a basic rundown of what you can expect. So normal dungeons, okay, heroic dungeons, adventure. So that's the item level in season 3. So these are what they are in season 3 and what they're going up to in season 4. Holy smokes. You're going to start getting, wow, okay. Start getting 476 at heroic dungeons. Really cool stuff. Crested Flight Sim rewards are changing to match the difficulty with only some minor adjustments. Sorry. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. I'm going to continue to read here. We believe that these changes provide new opportunities for players to experience Mythic and Mythic Plus dungeons while providing additional challenges for in-game players in the future. This all sounds good to me. Flightstone earnings for any given Mythic Plus will match the equally challenging Mythic Plus from previous seasons. Bonus Flightstones for Mythic Plus score remains unchanged. Weapon crests are no longer available for Mythic Plus dungeons, as those difficulties no longer exist. Players can continue to collect them from outdoor sources. Players will earn 10 Drake crests on successful completion of Mythic 0, and there's no timer to beat. Worm crests are available in Mythic Plus 2, Mythic Plus 5 dungeon. Aspect crests will be available in any Mythic difficulty from plus 6 and up. So really what they've done here in my mind, and this may be just my way of explaining it, but they've taken the huge gap that was all the Mythic Plus, and they've condensed it up towards the sort of the top difficulty levels, and they've taken the rest of it, and they've sort of broadly refined the system so that there is a clearer distinction between normal, heroic, and mythic, so that there feels like a normal step up in progression. Right now there's a lacking. It definitely doesn't feel like heroic when you go to heroic after normal, and Mythic 0 doesn't really feel like much beyond heroic. It's just an extra mechanic. So this is all good stuff in my mind. It's moving in the right direction to continue to make the game more accessible to more people. I know that there are always going to be people who are going to look at these changes and be like, the sky's falling, World of Warcraft, Blizzard ruined my favorite, blah, blah, blah. Screw it. It happens. MMORPGs are an evolving thing, and you either roll with those things or you go off and play other games. That's how simple it is. These changes don't bother me at all. Looks great. I can't wait to see what a new Mythic 0 feels like, and I look forward to the new tiers of rewards as well. Good times ahead. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Come join us on the Moonguard server. We raid Saturday nights on normal mode at 8 p.m. Central, plus we do other stuff throughout the week. And of course, we do lots of different things, and I play a lot of different games here on my channel as well, so you can either join my private Discord or you can join our guild's Discord, get involved with our gaming community. Either way, I look forward to see you in the next one. Daily streams here and on Twitch. Don't forget, there's a Patreon as well. See you next time, everybody.